Well, it's political candidate time on Comcast. Ron Dudum is there right now, and he is running for Supervisor District 4 in the city of San Francisco. It's nice to see you again, Ron.
Nice to see you, Jack.
Now, you, in my recollection, were running once before.
Yeah, I ran. I lost the last election by 53 votes to a guy named Ed Jew. Quit politics in February of last year and couldn't imagine a scenario where I might get back involved in the process.
Well, something brought you back.
Events unfolded. Ed ran into some trouble. The mayor decided to appoint a member of his own staff who never voted in San Francisco, never participated in one community meeting, but was a member of his staff and decided to ignore the will of the voters. And then members of my neighborhood and particularly of the Chinese community came out very aggressively and told me that I needed to run, and win because the politics of personal ambition have to stop, and that we need to elect somebody who can truly represent the needs of middle-class families in San Francisco. So that's why I decided to do it one more time.
Okay, some of the issues involved in the Sunset District, they are what for you?
Well, our district and our city is full of people from working-class families, middle-class families.
They're being driven out to a certain extent, unfortunately.
They are. And they're driven out for two reasons. They can't afford to buy a home, and they don't trust the public schools. And pretty much the politics that we've been having is a personality politics that pits one person against another and never actually deals with the issues that affect families. And so I hope to remove the personality out of politics and keep focused on the issues of controlling, for instance, our spending. We have a $6.5 billion budget, $350 million deficit, and yet on this ballot alone, we're adding programs and programs and programs that continue to increase the cost of government. And we need to bring that in line, have a strong middle, because with a strong middle, you can hold the other parts of our city together. And it's that middle that's been avoided. It's that middle that I hope to represent on the Board of Supervisors.
Okay, that budget, over $6 billion in the city.
Yes, sir.
You have to sort of say that out loud. It's $1 billion to think about the city being involved in that kind of a budget. There are all kinds of areas that people have been talking about that have been here, different candidates, for everything from potholes to schools that you mentioned. What would be at the top of your list in terms of improving the area in which you live?
Well, we unfortunately do not have very good or very reliable Muni transportation. And so making sure that Muni was properly funded so that we could in fact rely on Muni and not on cars, that would be significant. Improving the quality of our streets is serious business. I mean, for $6.5 billion, we pay a lot of taxes. You'd like to think that we wouldn't have to repair our cars every time we drive down the block. And with regard to parks, the things, frankly, that families are concerned about, that families use. The condition of our parks are poor, the reliability of Muni is poor, the irresponsible spending on other programs and not on infrastructure, not on the things that affect families is what I really want to focus on.
Okay, do you think that some of the money has been spent on things that are for only a certain class of people who have a lot of money, for example, have very expensive condominiums and developments of that type, and the middle class areas of the city, which were the backbone of San Francisco, have been neglected?
Well, I think that again, the emphasis in this city has been, frankly, for the rich and the poor, and leaving the middle alone. And that's been the problem. So that there is money being spent among the least among us to help them. There's also obviously money being spent to protect our wealthiest neighborhoods. But it's those middle-class neighborhoods that, frankly, don't get any attention. Okay. And that's why those families are leaving.
Ron, nice to see you.
Thank you.
Okay, Ron Dudum is with us right now, and he is running for District 4 Supervisor in the city of San Francisco. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.